Hello everyone. Today's topic of discussion is slope of a line. This is a part of coordinate geometry, the 2D coordinate geometry, which is an important part of whichever exam you're taking, whether you're taking GMAT, GRE or SAT. Okay, it's a very important topic, and you do get questions from this topic. Okay, whether you are appearing for GMAT, GRE or SAT, it doesn't matter, but you'll be getting questions from this topic. So in this video, I'll be entirely focusing on slope of a line, and that's it. I won't be teaching you anything else apart from this one topic. Okay. So let's get started. All right. Let's understand from the scratch, like what is a slope, what are different types of slopes, then system of lines, and then we'll be solving questions based on that. All right. So we're gonna take it from the scratch, and then we will discuss different types of questions that you may expect in the exam. All right. Let's get started. All right, so the first one is, what is a slope? So if you talk about the technical definition of this term, what do you mean by slope? Slope was basically defined as tan of the angle. Tan is that trigonometric tan, okay? So we have the six trigonometric functions: sine, cos, tan, cosec, sec, cot. So that tan I'm talking about, that is tan. So slope is nothing but tan of the angle made by the line with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. That is, if you draw a line, and let's talk about this green line that I've drawn. Let's say this line makes an angle of theta degrees with x-axis. Let's say this line makes an angle of theta degrees with x-axis. So when you'll calculate tan of theta, that will give you the slope of this line. Okay, this is the technical definition of slope of a line. So what is slope? Slope is nothing but tan of the angle made by the line with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. All right. Now the point here is that we do not recognize theta when it comes to coordinate geometry, right? Because when you talk about coordinate geometry, we are more concerned with coordinate system, that is x coordinate, y coordinate, distance from x-axis, distance from y-axis, and so on and so forth. We do not deal with theta. Okay, so we need to find an alternate way of defining this tan of theta. So what we decided was, we're going to take 2 points which lie on this line. So let's say I have this point P, x1 comma y1, and let's say I have this point Q, x2 comma y2. Okay, so we're going to take 2 points which lie on this line, and we will try to figure out how can we represent tan theta in terms of coordinate system. Okay, so now let me name the other points also for you. So this is A, this is B, and I'm going to extend this AP. Something like this. So let me name this point as R, let me name this point as S. Now these lines, this AP and BQ, these are all like straight lines. Okay, these are all horizontal lines, so they're going to be parallel with x-axis. They will be parallel with x-axis. So if this angle here is theta, then this angle here will also be equal to theta. Okay, now when you talk about a right angle triangle, let's say I have a right angle triangle something like this. Let's name this P, let's name this Q, let's name this R, and let's say if this angle is theta. So if you talk about tan of theta in a right angle triangle, then tan of theta is equal to PQ divided by QR. Then tan of theta is nothing but PQ divided by QR. So the point here is that if I name this point L, so you can say that in this triangle PQL, you can simply say that tan of theta will be QL divided by PL. The point is, we need to find out QL, we need to find out PL. Okay, now what you need to know, probably some of you would be knowing this also, when you talk about the x coordinate, x coordinate of a point is nothing but the perpendicular distance of the point from y-axis. So you can say that as far as AP is concerned, AP will be equal to x1. And similarly BQ, this will be equal to x2. Similarly, if you talk about PS, that is equal to y1, and if you talk about QR, that is equal to y2. So BQ is x2, AP is x1, so I can say that the remaining part, which is SR, so this portion will be x2 minus x1. Okay, so this entire line is x2, this is x1, so remaining will automatically be x2 minus x1. I hope you can relate. Similarly, QR is y2, PS is y1, so QL will be y2 minus y1. QL will be y2 minus y1. So when you talk about tan of theta, that will simply be y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is what tan of theta is equal to in a right angle triangle. So instead of defining the slope in terms of theta in coordinate system, we are able to now define the slope in terms of coordinates. Now when you talk about coordinate geometry, we do not represent slope with the help of tan theta, we represent slope with the help of letter M. We represent the slope with the help of letter M. So you can say that M will be equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So in other terms, you'll find this in books that slope of a line is nothing but change in y coordinate divided by change in x coordinate, or slope is also defined as rise over run, and so on and so forth. But what is the technical definition of a slope? Slope is nothing but tan of the angle made by the line with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction. Once you know the theta, once you know the angle, you know the slope. So we are trying to find out an alternate way, because we don't go into thetas when you talk about coordinate geometry. So from now on, what we'll see is that, or how we will represent slope in coordinate geometry is, we will represent slope as y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Alright. So tan theta or y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So we will understand both of them parallelly so that you understand how things actually happen rather than simply memorizing them. Okay. Alright, let's move on to the next thing, that is the types of slopes. So we have positive, negative, zero and undefined. Okay. So let's understand each one of them. Okay. So let's start with the positive slope. So if I want positive slope, I want my tan of theta to be positive, or I want my y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 to be positive. Now, let me tell you something regarding tan of theta. If the angle, if you know this, then it's good. If you do not know this, so let me help you out with that. If the value of theta is between 0 and 90, if the value of theta is between 0 and 90, then tan of theta is positive. That is, when you talk about, okay, let me explain you this. You basically have four quadrants, okay? So this is your first, this is your second, this is your third, and this is your fourth. First quadrant has angles from 0 to 90, second is 90 to 180, third is 180 to 270, and fourth is 270 to 360. So tan is positive in the first quadrant, tan is negative in the second quadrant, tan is positive in the third quadrant, and tan is negative in the fourth quadrant. Just remember this. Tan is positive in first and third, and it's negative in second and fourth. So if you have an angle, if the line makes an angle, any angle between 0 to 90, then tan will automatically be positive, or you can say that your slope will automatically be positive. Or in other terms, you can say that y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 will automatically be positive. So remember this, if the angle made by the line, with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction is between 0 and 90, then the slope is positive. Okay, then the slope is positive. Now let's understand this from the perspective of y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now I'm hoping that you have gone through my video on inequalities, because we'll be using bit of that concept here. So if I want a positive slope, then y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 should be positive, or I can say that y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 should be greater than 0. Now when we were doing, when I taught you this inequalities, I told you that if you have something like a by b greater than 0, then you want either both a and b to be positive or both a and b to be negative. Then you want either both a and b to be positive or both a and b to be negative. All right. So if you go through the basic lecture of coordinate geometry, you would find this, that in the first quadrant both x and y are positive. In the second quadrant, x is negative, y is positive. In the third, both are negative. And in the fourth, x is positive and y is negative. Okay. Now you want a by b to be greater than 0, or you want y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 to be greater than 0. That means at the same point of time, either you want y2 minus y1 and x2 minus x1 to be positive, or you want y2 minus y1 or x2 minus x1 to be negative. So both positive, both negative. Now in which quadrant do you see both positive, both negative? You do see that in first and third quadrant. So if the slope is positive, then remember that the line will always pass through first and third quadrant. The line will always pass through first and third quadrant. And if you see this, if you go one step forward, then you'll observe that for yourself, that the angle made by the line with x-axis, you can see that it's always less than 90. If the angle is supposed to be 90, a line is supposed to be something like this. So you can see that all these three lines have an angle which is less than 90 degrees. Okay, so you can relate less than 90, positive slope, or if the line is passing through first and third, positive slope. Now let me give you this one statement which is very important. Remember that whenever you draw a line in a coordinate plane, a line can either pass through two quadrants, or a line can either pass through three quadrants. A line can either pass through two quadrants, or a line can either pass through three quadrants. It will never ever happen that the line is passing through all the four quadrants, no matter what type of line you may draw. It doesn't matter. Now if out of the three quadrants, or if out of the two quadrants, if the line is passing through first and third, then you can close your eyes and you can say that your slope is positive. If out of the three given quadrants, or if out of the two quadrants, if the line is passing through first and third, then remember that your slope is positive. Okay, so you can see that in all the three cases the line is passing through 1 and 3. So a line may or may not pass through second, a line may or may not pass through fourth, or line may or may not pass through origin. But if it is passing through 1 and 3, you can simply close your eyes and you can say that the line has a positive slope. Because if it is passing through 1 and 3, it's passing through the coordinates which has both coordinates positive and both negative. or the tan of the angle, or let me put it this way, the angle made by the line with x-axis in anti-clockwise direction will always be less than 90 degrees. Okay, all right. Now remember that when you talk about positive slope, the line is also known as ascending line because it's going up. It's going up, so slope is positive, and y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is also positive. All right, let's move on to the next one, that is the negative one. So if you have a negative slope, then you have y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 as negative. Then you have y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 as negative. You can also relate this with the help of tan theta. Now I told you that when you talk about tan from 0 to 90, tan is always positive. If you go any angle from 90 to 180, that is in the second quadrant, tan is always negative. So if you have a line which has an angle greater than 90 degrees, for example, if you draw something like this, then in the anti-clockwise direction, the angle made, this angle is greater than 90 degrees. You can see that for yourself. This angle is greater than 90 degrees. So tan of something greater than 90 will automatically be negative. Okay. Alright, so this was from the perspective of tan. Now let's understand from the perspective of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, relate this to the fact that a by b is less than 0. If you have a by b less than 0, so that means one of them is positive, the other is negative. One of them is positive, the other is negative. Now in the second quadrant, y is positive, x is negative. In the fourth quadrant, x is positive, y is negative. Okay. So remember that if the slope is negative, then the line will definitely pass through second quadrant and fourth quadrant. Please excuse me for my drawing. I hope you have understood the concept. Okay. So if the line has a negative slope, then the line will definitely pass through the second quadrant and the fourth quadrant. Now you can see it for yourself. If you measure the angle in the anti-clockwise direction, then you can see that this angle is greater than 90. This angle is also greater than 90. And this angle is also greater than 90. You can see that for yourself. Okay, so greater than 90, second quadrant, tan is automatically negative. So if the line is passing through second and fourth, it may or may not pass through 1, it may or may not pass through 3, it may or may not pass through origin, but if the line is passing through second and fourth, then the slope has to be negative. And whenever you have a negative slope, the line is going to be a descending line. The line is going to be a descending line. Remember this. Ascending line, positive slope passing through 1 and 3, descending line, negative slope passing through 2 and 4. Now as far as your exam is concerned, just remember that if you see a line passing through 1 and 3, positive slope. If you see a line passing through 2 and 4, it's a negative slope. Okay? If you have understood this much in detail, it's fine. If you haven't, then also it's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's move on to the next thing, that is slope 0. If you have slope 0, then I can say that y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 should be 0. Or if I talk in terms of tan of theta, so I want tan of theta equals to 0, and tan of theta, like if you know trigonometry, then this is like sine theta by cos theta equals to 0. So this is sine of theta equals to 0 and sine theta is 0 at 0 degrees. Sine theta is 0 at 0 degrees. Now remember that whenever you talk about this term slope, you always measure angle with respect to x-axis. You always measure angle with respect to x-axis. Now with respect to x-axis, I want my angle to be 0. With respect to x-axis, I want my angle to be 0. So if I draw the coordinate plane, with respect to x, I want my angle to be 0. So in that case, the line has to be parallel to x-axis. Because in this case, with respect to x, the angle will automatically be 0. The angle would automatically be 0. Okay, so whenever you have slope 0, people say that the line is parallel to x-axis. Now you can also visualize this or conceptualize this with the help of the formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is equal to 0. If you want y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 equal to 0, then in that case you want a by b to be equal to 0. If your a by b is equal to 0, in that case a should be equal to 0 and b should not be equal to 0. In that case, a should be equal to 0 and b should not be equal to 0, because we know that in math 0 by 0 is not defined. So if a is equal to 0, you want y2 minus y1 equal to 0, which means y2 should be equal to y1. Which means y2 should be equal to y1. Now when you say y2 is equal to y1, that means the y coordinate is not changing. That means the y coordinate is not changing. Now what is y coordinate? Y coordinate is nothing but the perpendicular distance from the x-axis. Y coordinate is nothing but the perpendicular distance from the x-axis. So the perpendicular distance from x-axis is not changing. So that will only happen when the line is parallel to x-axis. You can see it for yourself that this distance is not changing, or this distance is not changing. So whenever line is parallel to x-axis, its slope is 0. Okay, so remember that whenever slope is 0, line is parallel to x-axis. Let me give you like a couple of examples. For example, y is equal to 3. So this line would be somewhere like y is equal to 3, slope is 0. Y is equal to minus 10, this is somewhere like y is equal to minus 10, slope is again 0. Alright. And the last one is the undefined. So let's see what that is. So if the slope is undefined, now you want y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 to be undefined, not defined. When would that happen? When y2 minus y1 is not equal to 0 and x2 minus x1 is equal to 0. Because something over 0 in maths is not defined. Or if you talk in terms of tan, if you want tan to be undefined, then you want sine by cos to be undefined. When would that happen? When sine is not 0 but cos is 0. When is cos 0? At 90 degrees. When is cos 0? At 90 degrees. That means the angle made by the line with x-axis should be 90 degrees. You're going to have a line something like this, or you can have a line something like this. Lines which are perpendicular to x-axis. Lines which are perpendicular to x-axis, because when the lines are perpendicular to x-axis, angle will be 90. What is sine of 90? It's 1. What is cos of 90? It's 0. 1 over 0 is not defined. Or if you do not know trigonometry, let's do it y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1y. It's completely fine. So if y2 minus y1 is not 0 and x2 minus x1 is 0, that means x2 is equal to x1. That means the x coordinate of the line is not changing, which means the perpendicular distance of the point from y-axis is not changing. Now the perpendicular distance of the line from y-axis is not changing, which means line has to be parallel to x. Line has to be parallel to y. And if the line is parallel to y, it has to be perpendicular to x. Right? So this distance is constant. See, remember, there are only 4 things which can happen, guys. Okay, there is no possibility of 5th thing. The angle is from 0 to 180 degrees. The angle is from 0 to 180 degrees. There is no 4th thing that can happen, guys. Nothing else is possible. Okay. If the angle is 0 or 180, then in that case, line has to be parallel to x-axis. Line has to be parallel to x-axis. If the angle is between 0 and 90, then tan will automatically be positive. That means line is an ascending line, or the slope is a positive slope. If the angle is between 90 and 180, then tan is negative, or the line is a descending line. If the angle is 90, then line is perpendicular to x-axis. In that case, slope is not defined. These are the only 4 things which can happen. There is no 5th thing which is possible. And we have discussed all the 4 possible cases. Okay. Alright. So we're gonna discuss like one more thing before we end this video. So system of lines. So the first one is when the lines are parallel. So let's say you have 2 lines, first one having equation y is equal to m1x plus c1, and second is y is equal to m2x plus c2. If the lines are parallel, observe it this way, if the lines are parallel, they're gonna have the same angle with x-axis. That is what is meant by the term parallel. They're gonna have the same angle with x-axis. If they have the same angle, they're gonna have the same tan theta. If they have the same tan theta, their slopes will automatically be equal. So if I say that m1x plus c1 is equal to one line and m2x plus c2 is the other line, and if the 2 lines are parallel, then m1 is equal to m2. That the slopes are equal. The slopes are equal. When the lines are perpendicular, then remember that product of their slopes is equal to negative 1. Okay, the product of the slopes is equal to negative 1. So this is the entire theory part which you need to know as far as slope of the line is concerned. I have tried to be as detailed as possible. Like I have actually connected tan of theta with the formula of the slope. Alright, so that you are able to understand in a detailed manner and from the code itself. Okay. So let's keep it till here for this video. If you have any doubts, if you have any concerns, if you have any comments, then do let me know. I'll come back to you whenever possible. And thank you so much guys for watching this video. Keep watching and keep learning. Thank you so much.